Most welcome to Historiespanarna History Reconnaissance and New York 1958-1960. Years of change and progress. This time we take you back to 3 pivotal years when the microchip was unveiled. The Boeing 707 took its maiden nonstop voyage from coast to coast. It was years when words like fallout shelters and missile gap appeared, and when the US military advisors suffered their first fatalities in Vietnam. During these years, New York emerged as a center of change in culture, trade and architecture. The New York Coliseum hosted the International Auto Show, featuring cars made by 65 companies in 9 countries. For the first time, cars from Japan were on display, including Datsuns and Toyotas. The Solomon R. Guggenheim Museum opened, and in Lower Manhattan, many traditional apartment blocks were cleared and replaced with large-scale public housing projects. And please, subscribe to our channel and follow us on our journey in history.
At Brooklyn Navy Yard, the longest, largest, most powerful fighting ship in the world awaits christening. She's the 4th and largest Forrestal-class carrier, and the 5th ship to bear the name Independence. The first was a 10-gun sloop commissioned in 1776. The latest will carry 100 supersonic jets with H-bomb capability. The most powerful radar aboard any carrier helps make her a potent counter-weapon to Russia's submarine fleet. Christened with a proud name by Mrs. Thomas Gates, wife of the Secretary of the Navy, is USS Independence, over 1,000 feet of matchless fighting machine.
The USS Independence was commissioned in January 1959. In December 1960, disaster struck the Brooklyn Navy Yard when a forklift on the hangar deck of the carrier USS Constellation accidentally pushed its cargo into a steel plate that broke off the plug of a 500-gallon diesel tank. The fuel spilled and ignited when it reached the lower levels of the ship. It took 17 hours for firefighters to extinguish the fire that claimed the lives of 50 civilian workers and injuring as many as 300 others. The fire damage cost $75 million to repair and delayed the commissioning date by 7 months. Years after these images were taken, much of the New York waterfront and its longshoremen was becoming obsolete. The nation's first facility for container shipping had opened in 1962. Intermodal freight transport and the expansion of the interstate highway system effected a shift to new terminals at New York Bay.
Off Ambrose Light, a Navy tug brings the President's personal representative aboard, Rear Admiral Hyman Rickover, father of the atomic submarine, who will share in the all-out greeting New York gives the pioneering sub. It's a rainy day, but that's no deterrent to the harbor welcome in traditional style. The salute of hundreds of vessels, Coast Guard cutters, fireboats, launches, tugs, and small craft, escorting the sleek sub upriver from the Narrows along the Manhattan waterfront to the cheers and admiration of the city. Then it's back to the lower harbor again and around the battery to berth at Brooklyn Navy Yard. Her arrival after her historic North Pole transit and her 6.5-day underseas crossing of the Atlantic is a memorable one. A special occasion made all the happier for the crew by the presence at dockside of their families. For 60 Navy wives, it's the first reunion with their far-traveling husbands since April. Commander William Anderson, skipper of the Nautilus, and Admiral Rickover share the spotlight. To our atomic submariners, the glory of the recent feats that reassert the Navy's leadership in the contest for supremacy under the sea. Russia's newest turboprop transport, the world's largest commercial airliner, arrives in New York after a record nonstop flight from Moscow at an average 460 miles an hour. It brings Deputy Premier Frol Kozlov, number 3 man in the Kremlin, to attend the opening at the Coliseum of the Soviet Exhibition of Science, Technology, and Culture. It's the first showcasing here of red achievements since the 1939 World's Fair. Its importance to Russia is indicated by Kozlov's high rank. Fulfilling America's role as host, President Eisenhower flew from Washington for a preview tour in a last-minute decision. With Vice President Nixon, he and the Russian delegation toured the elaborate show. All jovial despite the size of the crowd, almost a mob scene. The show is the counterpart of an American exhibition to be opened in Moscow next month by Mr. Nixon. In this elaborate cultural exchange, full-scale models of her Sputniks are among the things Russia is proudest of. Legitimately impressive achievements deftly exploited to the utmost here. Another red showpiece is the nuclear-powered Icebreaker, the first atomic surface vessel now under construction. The exhibition will run for 6 weeks. Premier Kozlov will tour the United States following the trail of his colleague Mikoyan and confer briefly with Ike in Washington, perhaps bringing Cold War tidings from Khrushchev.
That's all, folks. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.